Something really annoying just happened to me, and I don't know, maybe it's going to resolve itself and I don't upload this video, but I drove 2 hours to see a collection on appointment and the dude didn't show up. On a lighter note, before I get into the story, it is a new week, so we're going to do a new 30% off. This time we're doing 30% any X-Men, and that includes Uncanny and regular X-Men. Don't forget to support the channel by liking and subscribing. It goes a long way. Okay, so here's what happened. I had two leads on collections. Both of them were in remarkably close areas. Like, I'm talking within a 20-minute drive of one another. So I arranged yesterday, Thursday, to go out and see one collection that I already had set up with this one guy, pick up Punisher, Silver Surfer, and Marvel graphic novels. Gonna be awesome. But then there was another guy who lived remarkably close to that guy, who also lived really close to my cousin. So I was gonna think about doing a 1, 2, 3 punch. One, get the collection from the one guy, get the smaller collection from the other guy, see my cousins, and come back home. Well, spoiler alert, I only got to do one. I got the first guy I've actually got from him before, gentleman and scholar. Can't wait to do business with him again. It's this second guy that I got to his house about 10 minutes before I was supposed to get there. I waited in the car. I called, nothing. No problem. I'm early, whatever. We were supposed to meet at 11. I come to the door at like 11:02, start knocking on the door, wait a little bit, whatever. I ring the doorbell, whatever, nothing's happening. I give him a call again. No response. I don't immediately go to the worst case scenario, right? So I go back to my car, I put on some music, I'm like on my phone farting around, and I realized like another 15 minutes had passed. So I called him again, nothing. I started going crazy. I was thinking like, wait a second, did I screw up? Were we not supposed to meet at 11 today? And it was tricky because this was not texted. It was all over the phone. He was old school and there wasn't anything written down. But sure enough, in my calendar, I had 11 a.m. right here, address and everything, good to go, done. I go over to the garage just to see if there was a car there. It was a one-car garage, no cars in there. So it's like, okay, so someone's not even home, looks like. They could be at the grocery store just coming back. They could be a little bit late. The guy doesn't have a cell phone. He was calling me from a landline. I go back up just to make sure. I knew no one was home, but at this point it was like, come on, absolutely nothing. And what sucks about this is I'm a 2-hour drive away back home at this point. So I decide to wait it out till 1 o'clock. And then I finally had to call it quits. I probably called like 20 different times. Didn't matter. And it wasn't the biggest collection anyway, but it was Silver and Bronze Detective Comics, which is not only a personal favorite of mine, but a particularly good mover for me. I can always move Detective Comics very easily. So it's not like I wasn't really looking forward to that collection. It's not as exciting as the first collection of the day, but I definitely frickin' wanted this thing and couldn't wait. Over 2 hours of waiting, I had to go home, and I called my wife. I'm freaking out. I'm pissed off as can be, and she says, dude, calm down. You don't know. It could be like a medical emergency situation. And that's where, because I still don't know, I'm not going to put this video up until I really find out that it wasn't something like a medical emergency, because then I'll feel like a dick. I didn't get to go to the cousins. I made it all the way back home. I'm sorting through. I'm starting to price up and rebag and board the other main collection that I got in. I literally picked up a giant collection, waited over 2 hours for a collection, drove 2 hours home, processed an entire haul, and didn't get a call back. So then I started thinking like, okay, we may actually have a medical emergency or something's up. Now I start wondering, like, do I need to call the police? Missing persons or something like that? Hey, I don't know, man. My wife tells me to wait until tomorrow, which is now today. So whatever, I go ahead and I do that. Nothing happens, and so here I am telling the story. If I don't hear back in a few days, I am gonna call the police and have them do a check. I can't believe it's gonna come to that, but we'll see. So I went through every feeling. I was pissed off. Then I went through a feeling of feeling so inconvenienced. Then I went into a little bit of concern. And now it's at this point straight up like, yo, You good, man? So I thought I'd just rant about it. I hope for two things. I hope that this individual is actually medically safe and okay. And on the second part, I really hope it's a good excuse.
I did find out what it was. It was not a medical emergency. It wasn't an emergency of any kind, really. It was actually me getting screwed. I know now what happened, and it's a sucky story for me. And honestly, this is a couple hours after I got off the phone with him. I'm still very pissed, but I'm really glad I'm not recording this immediately after, because I'd be so pissed that might not even be able to get appropriate footage of me. So he actually sold all of his books. And interestingly, not only sold all his books, but decided to just not even be home for our appointment. He called me extremely apologetic. He said, "I got your calls. I'm so sorry. I actually ended up selling the books, and I can't believe I wasted your time. Let me send you a check in the mail. I'll pay for your gas." And so I'm glad he did that, but that's not enough to make me not super pissed. So I was very candid with him. I said, "Dude, it's really good that I happen to be getting another collection right in the same area and that I made that work out, because if you made me come all the way out a 4-hour round trip with 2 hours of waiting, that's insane, dude. What's your excuse?" He told me he needed the money quicker than how our appointment was. And honestly, if that were the case, dude, let me know. I would have been there a week ago, but we talked about this specific date. Oh, working through it, guys. The craziest part of it all, though, is he took quite a dive in the amount of money that he got for all his Detective Comics. I still needed to see the condition of the books, but I was going to be paying considerably more than what he actually got. I don't get it. I don't know why I couldn't get a courtesy call before making the drive. I don't know why so many things about this. Is it crazy to say I was actually almost hoping it was something more along the lines of I slept in, or I had an emergency of some kind, and I'm sorry. Instead, it was, I sold the stuff and didn't give you a courtesy call. I completely forgot about you. Let me tell you something. I am so glad I got the collection from earlier in the day. That is still carrying me on a high. If it wasn't for that, oh my gosh, I would be beside myself. So guys, don't forget to not waste each other's time in this community. Not really any silver lining or anything like that to the story. Just kind of me getting screwed. Woo! It happens. We have to make sure that we don't do that to each other in this community. This is just hopefully a weird, odd fluke. I think the wife and I are going to have to go out for ice cream or something. I need to relax. Not a happy ending here, but that's not always how it goes. We all know that. At least I'm going to get a check in the mail for the gas. I'll be curious if that actually comes. I promise you the rest of this week is going to be much more positive content. I'm sorry for the very negative video, but it's what happened, and this is my raw reaction to it. I love you all. Keep on hunting. I'll see you at the next one.
Make sure to come down to Sentiment Depot Antiques and Collectibles, where I'm set up with all of my comics, located at 238 West Delaware Ave, Pennington, New Jersey. Open every day except for Monday and Tuesday. Enjoy 10% off from Wednesday to Friday. See you there.